You gotta be kidding me. Imagine waking up on a Sunday morning expecting nothing but peace and hot coffee. And next thing you know, the HOA president is calling the cops on you because you wouldn't let her barge into your home. That's not an exaggeration. I'm standing in my pajamas staring through the peephole at Blair Henderson, clipboard in hand, ready to declare martial law over a supposed mandatory inspection. And I'm thinking, is this real life or am I on some twisted reality show? So there she is, Blair, our HOA president for a decade and a half, outfitted like she's running for office, not checking on trash cans. She's the type who dresses like she's got a board meeting every day, not a hair out of place, lips pursed, and this look in her eye that tells you she's here to win, not to help. She knocks again hard. I open the door but leave the chain on because, well, I like my freedom. She tries to peer around me into my house like she's about to write me up for leaving socks on the floor. You know that feeling when someone's looking at you but not really seeing you? That's Blair. She doesn't see people. She sees problems to be fixed. Dr. Turner. I need immediate access for a compliance inspection, she says, waving that clipboard like it's the Constitution. Her voice is so official you'd think I was about to be indicted. HOA regulations require homeowners to permit authorized personnel to verify interior conditions when violations are suspected. She lingered on suspected. It sounded personal, like she'd been dying for an excuse. Now, I've worked 15 years as an ER doc. I know how to handle people who think authority means power, but this was different. This was my home. So I kept my tone calm, just like in the ER when you've got someone yelling in your face. Blair, you know the HOA can't come inside without a court order. Fourth Amendment covers me, same way it covers you. She just steps closer, smelling like perfume and bad intentions, tapping her French tips on that clipboard like a metronome for trouble. She fires back, I have every right to ensure this community maintains standards. Some people don't think the rules apply to them. Now I know what that means. That's the language folks use when they want to sound official but really mean something else. I tell her, you can check the yard from the sidewalk, Blair. But you're not coming in without a warrant. That's not just my opinion, that's federal law. You could see her composure slip for the first time, her mask cracking. Suddenly she pulls out her phone, glaring at me with a look that says, watch this. She calls 911, fake panic in her voice. Yes, I need officers at 1200 Oak Ridge Drive. I have an uncooperative resident making threats toward community officials. Threats. All I did was quote the Constitution, but whatever. She finishes the call, looks me dead in the eye, and dares me to do something. Honestly, I almost laughed. 15 minutes later, patrol cars roll up. Officer Martinez, who's seen every neighborhood spat, and his rookie partner step out. I walk out, hands visible, because, I'd rather avoid making the news. Good morning, officers. I'm Dr. Turner. She called because I wouldn't let her inside without a warrant. Martinez looks at Blair, then at me like he's already tired. Blair jumps in, painting me as some violent criminal hiding nuclear secrets. He's hostile, he's uncooperative, he refuses all authority. Officer Martinez lets her finish, then calmly explains, Ma'am, HOA can't enter private homes without a warrant. You could see the color drain out of Blair's face. Her voice goes shrill. She tries to push it, but the cops aren't buying it. They actually give me their card, tell me to document everything, because sometimes these folks escalate. Yeah, that happened. But Blair, she doesn't go home. She stands there on the sidewalk shouting for the neighbors. Some people think the rules don't apply. I know how to handle your type. Her voice echoes down the block. She wants a scene and she gets one. That should have been the end, right? Nope. 3 days later, I find my front yard trashed, beer bottles, garbage, rotting food, all scattered in just the right way to look like I'd been running a frat house. And who shows up, camera in hand, Blair? She's out there taking photos from every angle, making sure the house number is in each shot. She's staging the evidence, and she doesn't care who sees. Standing next to her is some guy in a wrinkled suit sweating bullets. She introduces him as Inspector Davis from the county. But he's shaking so bad he drops his tablet. I block the door. You're not coming in. I'm calling the county to check your credentials. The inspector goes pale stammers about paperwork. Blair snaps at him. Just do your job and stop asking questions. That's when I pull out my phone and record everything the inspector, they're trespassing. The neighbors start gathering Sarah, who's lived here forever, arms crossed on her porch. Trent from down the street, arms folded, glaring. Blair's so caught up in her performance, she doesn't notice the audience. I say for everyone to hear, impersonating a government official is a federal crime. Everything's being recorded. The inspector takes off, practically running to his car, and Blair's left alone, standing in a pile of trash she put there herself. I tell her I'm sending the video to the cops in the county. She just grinds her heel into my lawn, looks me dead in the eye, and walks off. A week goes by and Blair comes back, this time with backup 2 women matching notepads, stone faces like the world's worst girl gang. She calls 911 again this time, reporting suspicious late-night activities. They swarm my yard, peeking in windows, trying the doorknobs. I come out phone in hand. Ladies, you're trespassing. This is criminal behavior. Blair's friends look nervous, but she just keeps going. That's when Trent walks over with a folder. Dr. Turner, look at this, he says, showing me photos, same trash, same fake inspector. But at the Johnsons' house last year, the Johnsons, a black family, 2 kids, Blair drove them out, same playbook, complaints, planted evidence, false 911 calls. I see the anger in Trent's face, and I feel it too. We're not just dealing with a busybody. This is a pattern, and it's ugly. Police roll up again, and this time they've seen enough. Officer Martinez warns Blair, filing false emergency reports is a serious crime, ma'am. I hand over the photos. They start investigating a pattern, racial targeting, systematic harassment. Blair's face goes red. She starts muttering about people who need to learn to cooperate. The officers exchange a look, and I can see they get it. Now, this isn't about rules. It's about power. You'd think that would slow Blair down. But no, she doubles down, calling 911 a 3rd time, claiming I threatened her with violence. She starts an email campaign to the neighborhood, painting me as a danger to families. But Trent's security cameras catch her buying a gas can, meeting with shady people, planning something bigger. We call a civil rights attorney. This isn't just harassment anymore. It's starting to look like domestic terrorism. Blair shows up one night, gas can in hand, talking to her little group about extreme measures for community safety. She starts pouring gasoline around my fence. Trent's cameras catch everything. Timestamps, license plate, the whole show. The next morning, Blair calls 911 sobbing about a chemical emergency at my address, claims I'm storing hazardous materials. Fire trucks, hazmat cops, the works. The streets evacuated, neighbors in a panic. Blair's watching from her car phone in hand, waiting for her emergency to justify smashing into my home. But the fire captain's equipment detects gasoline, not chemicals. The feds get called. Agent Williams arrives, reviews the footage, and before Blair can slip away, she's arrested on camera in front of the whole neighborhood. And the mask comes off. Blair rants, "He doesn't belong here. People like him are a threat." The agents read her rights while everyone records. She's hit with charges, domestic terrorism, civil rights violations, false emergency reports, impersonation, the works. Turns out Blair's been pulling this for years, targeting families who don't fit her idea of neighborhood standards. The Johnsons come forward, the feds find more victims, and Blair's suburban empire crumbles in a day. At the sentencing, the judge throws the book at her, years in federal prison, massive fines, lifetime ban from any HOA role. The community reforms. Sarah takes over the HOA, installs real oversight, and the Johnsons, they move back, welcomed with open arms. Constitution Day, barbecue, apple pie. Kids playing on the same grass. Blair once tried to burn, this time safe and free. So that's what happened. Blair thought she was above the law, but in the end, the law and a few determined neighbors took her down. What would you have done if you were in my shoes? Would you stand your ground or just move away? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your take on justice, community, and what makes a real neighbor. And hey, if you've ever had a run-in with an HOA nightmare, you're not alone. Let's talk about it.